Hello, Intro to Education students. So in this quick tutorial, I am going to walk you through how to go about creating your reflection journal in light of the fact that we're going to be observing the Atlas videos. So right now I'm on the home page, and this particular tutorial is designed for both the Monday, Wednesday class and the Tuesday, Thursday class. I will be using the Monday, Wednesday class to model this, but the Thursday class has the same exact setup. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go here to the left-hand side. We're going to go to Pages, and then we're going to go to View All Pages, and then we're going to scroll down to the Reflection Journal Resources, okay? Because even though the other page above that, which is the PD Activities and Observation Hours page, that one is more geared towards the PD activities. But the Reflection Journal is really what we're going to be using to reflect on the Atlas videos, okay? So obviously you're only going to be doing 10 hours of Atlas videos, and you're going to be using your timesheet to keep track of them. So as I modeled in the information session video that's in the Student Observer shell, you're basically going to put the date that you watched the video, the title of the video, and then you're going to put the amount of time on the side. Now, again, when you're thinking about your time for these videos, you want to imagine that you literally have 10 more hours left of your 25 hours. So if you were going into a school building, you would never be sitting there for 15 minutes and leaving, right? You would be sitting there for upwards of 2 to 3 hours. So what I would plan from now until November 14th, when our subscription expires, is times where you can sit at the computer for a couple hours. And if you do that, you really would be able to be finished in about 5 days, or five total days, I'm saying, if you sat at the computer for about 2 hours. Now, obviously, that's about 8 videos, right? Because each video is about 15 minutes long. Now, you might find some longer videos. Some videos might be 30 minutes or 40 minutes. So obviously, you just want to make sure that when you're done watching all of your videos, the total time adds up to 10. You will most likely go over 10 hours, which is fine. If you go over by a few minutes or a couple hours because maybe, you weren't keeping track, don't worry about it, okay? But you definitely have to hit the 10-hour threshold, though. You can't go under the 10 hours. Okay, so what are you going to do? So as you know, I've already modeled how to find videos in Atlas, so I'm not going to do that here. What I am going to model is what do you do while you're watching the video. So the first thing we want to do is you want to download this document. Remember, this is the observation tips and log. Okay, so I'm just going to open it, but you want to download it so that you can, consistently use this document as you're watching videos. So what you're going to do is you're going to reacclimate yourself with those 9 themes. So here they are. Okay, so these are some of the things you're going to be looking for when you are watching your videos, okay? So remember, you're looking for each of these things within each video, all right? So I want to stress that. You're looking for these different themes within each video. So yes, are you going to be looking for these things in a 15-minute video? It might be a little difficult, right? But that's what you're going to be doing. Now, are you going to see all 9 things? No. Definitely not. You won't. But you want to try to identify as many of these as possible, including number 9, which is your overall impression of that video. What did you see? What did you learn? What did you take away from those 15, 20, or however many minutes it is? Okay? All right. Now, what you're going to be using when you watch your videos is a clean observation log. Okay? Now, I would suggest it's up to you how you want to do this, but obviously each video is separate, right? So let's say you sit down and you decide to watch 4 videos, which is an hour. Okay, I'm not asking you to, kind of print out 4 of these because that might be too much. So what you could do is you could do it, as long as you're keeping track of the name of the video and how long it was and the date you watched it. You could, use this log for multiple videos as long as you color code it, if you know what I'm saying, okay? So if you want to do that, that's fine. The other option is to watch the video on your phone and then just create a new log for each video. So then you don't have to print anything out. The only thing I would suggest is that you label each log so that when you go to write it up in your reflection journal, you know what you're writing about, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to put the date of the day that you're watching it. I would also add the name of the video here as well and however long it was. And then as you're watching the video, you're going to bullet what you're seeing. So you're going to try to connect what's in the video to one or more of these themes. And let me tell you, you should be able to see at least 3 or more of these themes in each video. You're going to be able to describe the classroom environment. You're going to be able to describe how the teacher communicates with children. You're going to be able to describe how the classroom is laid out, right? You're going to be able to actually describe classroom engagement. So a lot of these themes are something that will be in each video. Now, as I said, if you want to color code it, you can. Maybe you watch one video and maybe you start typing in red. So maybe you put the date of the video, like let's say I'm watching it, October 16th. I write it in red. I put how many minutes it was in red, and then I bullet all in red for each of these themes. And then I move on to my next video. Let's say I'm going to use blue for that video, right? Because you can change the color of the font when you're typing. So you would put that all in blue. You can obviously, this is a doc, so you can make this bigger, smaller, whatever you want to do with it to keep track of your information, okay? So it depends on how you want to do it, but you definitely want to be following this log and making note of each and every one of the themes that you're able to observe, including what was your overall impression. That should be in all of yours because obviously each video is going to leave you with some sort of an impression, okay? All right, what I suggest, as we did when we talked about this during the information sessions back in the spring, within 48 hours, if not less, maybe even that moment right after you're done watching the videos, you need to start writing them up into your reflection journal. So what you're going to do, you're going to download this reflection journal template, okay? So I'm going to open it up. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the bulleted observation log for each video, and you're going to write up each video that you see, okay? So obviously the template here, you're going to keep this the same up here, okay? Now, your name and date, you can just put, the date, like it could be December because that's when this is due. December of 2020. So what you're going to do here, instead of putting the name of your school and all of this stuff, what you're going to just put is reflection. You can just actually take this out. Sorry, you don't even need to add this part because you're not working with a cooperating teacher. Okay, so I am going to go over context for learning in a later class, but you can get started with this if you would like. Typically, we would have done this for the real district and school that you would be observing in. Since we're not able to do that this semester, you are going to actually think of the district that you wanted to observe in and then go to that school's website, and I want you to pick a school that you would have observed in that you think maybe you would have been, assigned to. The reason we want you to do that is we still want you to be familiar with what context for learning is, okay? So I want you to think of the district you would have wanted to observe in. Remember, I had asked you guys to send me that information, so think of the district you sent me. Obviously, if you're elementary, you need to pick an elementary school. If you had sent middle school or high school, you need to figure out the name of their middle or high school or whatever school you would, be in. Pick one. Don't pick multiple schools, okay? All right, you're going to be filling this out for that school, for whichever one you would have wanted to be in. There are directions for this, which I'll show you in a later class, but this will be filled out for your journal. Okay. All right. Now, once you're done with that part, which again, I'll show you later, but I can just walk you through it if you want to get started with it now. Now we need to write up those observation logs from each of those Atlas videos. So what you're going to do, instead of like kind of the headings that you would have done as if you were out in the field, like you would have gone out in the field like probably once or twice a week, right? And you would have written up each of those based on the date and the time, how many hours you were in the classroom. But now we need to do this instead for Atlas videos. So what you're going to do, you're going to bold and underline the date that you watched the video, the name of the video, and the number of hours the video was. So basically, you're going to take each line of your timesheet, right? And you're going to put that in here, okay? Then you are going to summarize what you observed using those 9 themes. You're going to be making connections. You're going to be talking about if they differentiated, if you saw classroom engagement, whatever you saw, you're going to summarize it here, okay? So you're going to do that for each video. So basically, each video should have a good sized paragraph. Now, of course, it's only 15 minutes. That's a drop in the bucket if you think about it. But you want to nicely summarize exactly what you saw in that video and reflect on what was going on. Because remember, observation is what you see with your eyes. Reflection is your processing of what you are seeing and connecting it to what you've learned in this class. Okay, so two-step process. So you should have a paragraph for each video. Now, longer videos, if let's say you are able to find a video that's 30 minutes or 60 minutes, they do exist. You just, they're around. Then obviously your write-up will be a little longer, right? Because you have to, you have a lot more to say because the video was longer. Now, at the very end of your reflection journal, only one page, you don't have to do this for each of them, you're going to have a reference page. The reference page is going to be any references that you use, such as the textbook, my PowerPoint slides. You might be using another textbook. Maybe you took Ed Psych, and there's something you can relate Ed Psych to. Maybe you took Child and Adolescent Psych and you want to use that textbook. Maybe you have some articles that you used in some of your other classes and you think it also helps you to analyze this information. You use whatever you use, okay? So you're going to have one reference page for the entire journal. You don't have to do a little reference for each one. Just keep track of your references, of course, but you don't have to have a separate page, okay? So date of observation. You're then going to put the title of the video and the number of minutes that the video is. Then you're going to summarize in a paragraph or two, depending on how long the video is, what you observed, and then integrate what you learned in relationship to the 9 themes. Okay, now let me show you an example of how to do that in terms of integrating observation with what was learned. So here in number 2, sample reflection journal, this is a real student's journal. Now keep in mind, this was a journal of a student who was out in the field. But you're going to start seeing the Atlas videos are like being out in the field. You're going to see things in real time. So in this observation, you can see how the student describes what she observed. Okay, so Mrs. H, the setting is a resource room. That's all part of, the 9 themes, right? She's saying the classroom layout. And then she reflects on what she observed. According to Hunt and Marshall 2012, that is how you cite. Remember, we're using APA. The least restrictive environment is when the blah, 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 blah. Okay. All right, let's go on and look at another thing she observed. Okay, she starts off by saying what she knows about differentiation. Differentiation is this, that, and the other thing. She uses a proper APA citation to note it. And then she talks about what she observed. The teacher would modify the materials based on the child's level. Okay? Now, let's go on to the next one. During this observation, students were asked to read aloud. Again, that's what she's observing with her eyes. But now she has to add the reflection. This is an example of positive behavior support, which are, and then she describes what it is using her resource. Now, when she does her reference page, obviously Hunt and Marshall, which is our textbook, would be one of her references, okay? Now, you can also reference my PowerPoint slides if you want. You should. There's nothing wrong with that. There's not an example here, but with my PowerPoint slides, it's pretty basic. You can just put my last name, the year, 2020, and then just put the chapter and PowerPoint slide that you referenced. That's all. And all the slides, if you put it in slides mode, you can see it has a number on the slide. You can just put the slide number on it, okay? And then that would go in your reference, on your reference page. All right. So that is how you reflect. So when you're writing up each of your videos, you're going to put the date, the name of the video, the amount of time, and then you're going to summarize what you observed, and then you're going to add the reflection. Every time you add reflection, you do need to use an APA in-text citation because, again, that information is coming from ideas that belong to others. Okay? So that's how you're going to write those up. Now, if you want to get ahead with the context for learning, let me just show you how to do it, okay? So the context for learning, there's directions here, and then I kind of gave you like a sample of kind of what it would look like there, okay? So let me just show you this document here. All right, so this kind of gives you the directions of what you're going to do. So you're going to go to this website and you're going to click on this document. Now, I believe they have updated the year. So you're going to use the most recent year, which I believe is 2018, 2019. They obviously don't have 2019, 2020 yet because the school year is not, they haven't calculated all of their things. So use whatever the most recent, time span is. Okay. All right, so you're going to go and you're going to click on that. And then this document is going to take you to the state website. So the state keeps a report card basically on each and every school. It's really great. If you ever want to know information, save or bookmark this particular link. Okay. All right, what you're going to do is you're going to basically pick your school, like I said, the school that you would have wanted to be in, and you're going to fill out all of this. And basically, that website is going to give you all of this information. Now, classroom environment, we are going to be removing this, okay? So this part of your context for learning, and I will remind you of this part you can delete. So this is in the template, as you know, the template of the reflection journal I just showed you. You're going to highlight this and you are going to delete it because obviously you're not in a classroom. If you were in a classroom, you would give us, me, the reader, further information about the context, basically what is the learning environment. So you're going to go ahead and delete that, okay? Everything else you're going to get from this website. So let me just give you a sample of what it looks like so you know what I'm talking about. So this is the website link is in this part here. So here's a sample. So let me just show you what that looks like so you can see what I'm talking about, okay? So here's the name of the school I chose, the school year. Obviously, you want the most recent, okay? The district, okay? Here's all the information. Okay, I'm putting it in bold, as you can see. I'm filling in the marks here. Then it gives you the academic achievement, that school. Again, it's a report card, which is kind of cool. All right. Now, this would have been a sample. You should still look at it. So this is what you would have done if you were in an actual classroom. Okay, you would have said what grade it is, how many boys, how many girls, what is their curriculum, that sort of thing. What type of setting is it? You might have been in a resource room, you might have been in self-contained or co-teaching, but just look at it for your knowledge, just for future reference. Okay, now let me show you what the report looks like. So when you go onto that website, I'm going to show you the one I just did, what the report looks like, and then how I turned it into that context. So this is what it's going to look like. It's really, like I said, it's really cool. It's a report card. And so you're going to literally take this information that you see here, copy it, and put it into context for learning. So we're still doing that, even though we are working in Atlas. We still want to do it because we want our students in intro to understand what context for learning is, because context for learning is part of the EdTPA. So when you get to student teaching, as I've mentioned, you will be completing the EdTPA, which is a standardized portfolio assessment, and it's required by the state. So you would be doing this for your own school that you are student teaching in. So in this class and then in EDU 280, you're going to learn more parts of the EdTPA, because when you guys go on, we want to make sure you are ready, because literally you have less than a year to prepare for this exam, because you're going to be student teaching at the beginning of your senior year. So you've got to have all of this under your belt. So that's the reason we do this, so that you're getting familiar with these parts of things that you're going to be doing and then obviously be assessed on. Okay. So as you can see, this is what it looks like. And then all I did is I turned this, this Lindcrest school that I selected. I took all that data and then I put it in my context for learning, which was this that you saw here. Okay. And then again, I just made this up, but we're going to delete this part of the journal. Okay, so that's what you're going to be doing for each of your videos. Okay, and then the Writing Center, I just want to point this out to you. The Writing Center is still open, so they're still working through Zoom. So you can always send them like an excerpt of your work, and they can help clean it up for grammar, syntax, that sort of thing. Sometimes they can help with in-text citations and APA, sometimes they can't. Some of them are trained more in the MLA format, which is something you would use for like history or English courses. But if you need more support with in-text citations, I want to point out the two documents here in number 3. So this document here shows you how to do in-text citations, okay? So you see how I'm doing it here, right? See newbie 1991, Dweck and Leggett, DC and Ryan, okay? And this is how it would look in my references on my reference page. And then there's another document here just more for for your knowledge. It's also will help you with citations for your references at the end. Remember, you just need one page of references at the very end of your journal. This gives you, like, if you, let's say you're taking something from a journal, maybe you're taking something from a textbook or even a magazine, it just shows you how to do it. Okay, so take a look at that if you need support. But you know what I think is one of the best resources is this sample reflection journal, because her in-text citations are all accurate. She did not use my PowerPoint slides, which is fine, but these are appropriate, accurate APA citations. So feel free to use hers. You can see she actually used another textbook. She used the educational psychology textbook here. Okay, so if you need some more support and you're just thinking, I'm not sure how to do this, take a look at this, because all of hers are accurate. Okay, so that is how you are going to approach doing your reflection journal. All right. So like I said, when you're doing your observation tips and logs, it's really going to be up to you, like how you want to do that. It might get kind of tricky if you do decide to color code it. So you might literally just want to download one for each. You're just going to have a lot. I'm going to be honest, you're going to have a lot of them. You want to make sure you label them when you save them on your computer. Maybe create a special file just for these. And like I said, it doesn't hurt if you watch your videos like on your phone or your tablet, and then maybe have your computer open and then you just type right into it. If you want to print it out, that's what you would have actually done for real if you were going in the field, because you obviously wouldn't be able to do this on your phone. There's no phones in school or computers in school when you're observing. So you might have printed it out. But again, that is a lot of paper. So just be mindful of, doing that. But that's what you're going to be doing. You'll be using your log. Once you're done watching the videos, I suggest you get right going and get your, start, writing those up as a journal entry. Because keep in mind, once you start watching like 10, 15, 20 of these videos, right, you're going to have a lot and you just don't want to forget what you saw. So don't wait until December, the day before this is due. This is a major assignment. It goes into your portfolio. Future teacher prep programs that you're thinking of going into, they will be looking at these reflection journals. They're going to want to see the quality of your writing and how you reflect. So this is a major assignment. It's why it's due at the end of the semester. It's a capstone assignment. And as you go on to 280, it's going to be something you're going to do again in a very similar format. So you'll have that to add to your portfolio as well. So if you have any questions, certainly let me know. Hopefully this video now helps to clarify how you should be approaching the reflection journal and those Atlas hours.